holiday season is just around the corner. Now at this time of the year, we're always talking about shopping. I'm joined in studio by Kevin Aspos from the Jupiter Drawing Room. Today we're going to talk about his predictions for retail in South Africa going into silly season. Hello.
Hi there.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Well, we had this chat last year, and last year we were talking about the low rand and the recession in South Africa. This year the rand is even lower. How is this going to affect retailers going into Christmas season?
Well, I think a lot of people are going to vacation, certainly in South Africa, and not take a trip overseas. So I think the shopping season, people are going to look local and see what's on offer in the local stores here.
All right.
I think that's what becomes quite exciting.
Yeah. Now tell me about the state of local retailers right now.
Well, I think there's never been a more pertinent time where you see buckets of retailers who are in the winning list and those who are sort of like either not doing well or in the losers list. And the same goes for some of the international brands that have come out here. So I think there's an exciting Christmas season. We've got H&M opening up in the country, opens up in fact this weekend, and I think they're really going to cause ripples across the retail industry. Even though it's only initially just one store, they've got a number planned, but they're coming in a well-planned fashion where they're going to have a number of their own brands, good pricing. I would imagine that they're not only going to bring in the traditional stuff from H&M. I'm sure they're going to borrow some of the product out of their niche stores as well, but it's going to be a very good offering into the local market. And I think the competitors have to watch them very closely.
So they're going to be shaking up our retail space very soon.
Yeah, and I think the big surprising is everyone thought that they were going to be quite an expensive store that opened. So people thought, well, not going to be competitors against us. But their pricing points are going to range right across from very, very affordable and going right up against the Mr. Price, Cotton Ons, up to the top end of the market.
So they really are going to disrupt everybody.
Everybody, and with a very large store. So the number of square meters that they actually launch it is massive. And I think that's going to give them, I guess, the volume of merchandise to sell, and hence they'll need the volume of customers.
What should local retailers be doing to stay competitive at this time?
Well, I think there are a couple of retailers that just feel uncompetitive. The Edgars Group, Edgars just feels like they've lost their shine, there's no momentum, and you feel that when you walk in there. And even some of their surrounding little brands that they've got, like the Calvin Klein's, Jigsaw, and even Topshop, haven't realized what those brands should have realized. And so somehow they're slipping back. But even places like Truworths seems to have run out of runway, and somehow Truworths hasn't got momentum in the marketplace.
When you say you can feel their lack of momentum when you walk in, what do you mean?
Well, I guess it's people who've had a good eye on what that season should look like. I think the guys who are presently doing such a good job is Markham's. I think Markham understands exactly what the market wants. Their stuff's fashionable, accessible. They know how you can just buy one or two items and you can change your variety of it. So Markham has got things right. So that's one of the brands I would watch. I think the other guys who are coming up is to some extent is Foschini. But even the Mr. Price, I think, is coming off a bad winter. I think their winter buys were not great. It's reflected in their share price. So I think it is public knowledge. But Cotton On seems to also be doing, as a foreign brand, seems to be doing good stuff. But the interesting thing is a lot of the international brands that have come in aren't necessarily picking up good market share. So I mentioned the niche ones like Topshop and Calvin Klein and Jigsaw. But we've noticed a couple of brands that came into South Africa that disappeared. Promod and Morgan, you just don't see them around. I don't know what's happened to them, but the spaces that they used to be in the shopping center, they're not there any longer.
Why do you think they've disappeared?
I think they didn't come in with maybe enough gusto and taking the market seriously and really put a hard offering into the market. And I think that's why Zara is doing well, because they've come in, tried to understand the market, changed for the nuances, and they're doing really well. And you'll see Zara opening up Zara Home shortly, but I would imagine at some stage you're going to see some of their other brands in the group, such as Massimo Dutti, maybe even Pull & Bear, which is their brand that would go up against Mr. Price, come into the market. But I would think that they will come in with a Massimo Dutti type of range at some stage, because there's no point in just coming in with Zara and Zara Home. And that would then put other South African brands like Trenery and Country Road into play, because I think they've just been a little bit casual in their approach in trying to up their game. So I think they would feel the heat there.